Hi, this is Matt Roush, Senior Critic for TV Insider, and here's what's worth watching for the week of February 14th. We start with a Valentine's Day treat, kind of a bittersweet treat here. It's a series called State of the Union, having its second season, and it's an unusual series because every episode is only 10 minutes long. I often complain about shows on Netflix being way too bloated. Well, this is the exact opposite. These episodes are so short, they're over before you almost know it. But it's the story of a couple who have been married for 30 years. The second season focuses on the couple of Scott and Ellen, played by two veteran Emmy-winning actors, Brendan Gleeson and Patricia Clarkson. And each episode takes place in a trendy coffee shop where the couple meets and has a conversation before they go upstairs to their marriage counseling. So they sort of rehash their lives, where they are now, where they'd like to be. And she makes it quite clear that in her mind, the marriage is over. This is a real wake-up call to Scott. He doesn't want the marriage to be over, but he also knows he has some work to do. So each episode is somewhat comic, somewhat dramatic as they play through their lives. They're also interacting with the non-binary coffee shop barista who's often gets under Scott's skin. And he has to sort of grow his worldview. He knows he has to change to keep the marriage alive. But the question that State of the Union asks is, can this marriage be saved? Should it be saved? It's always a good question. And State of the Union begins on Monday on Sundance TV. It also can be streamed in its entirety on Sundance Now and AMC TV, because once you get a taste of State of the Union, you'll probably want to watch it all. On Friday, we have a show that I truly, truly love. Coming back after a 2-year absence because of the pandemic, The Marvelous Mrs Maisel is finally back for a 4th season on Prime Video, and I could not be happier. I love Midge Maisel. She is the fledgling stand-up comedian who's breaking all the rules. Now we're in the 1960s with Midge, and her career is sort of in free fall as it begins. Where we left off, I know it's been a long time, is that Midge, she got her employer sort of unhappy with her routine, and they fired her as she was about to go off on a world tour. She's left standing with her luggage on the tarmac, and her career is in tatters. Her finances are not in very good shape. She just mortgaged her future to buy back her plush apartment in Manhattan, and her manager, Susie, played wonderfully by Alex Borstein, who's won many Emmys for the roles, that Susie has gambled away many of their savings already. So they're in a real state as the 4th season begins. What will Midge do? Where will she live? How about her parents? They're all kvetching all the way through. The banter runs fast and furious throughout this show, written brilliantly by Amy Sherman-Palladino. I just adore the Mrs. Maisel. I'm rooting for her. And as she comes to the realization that the only way she can really have a career is if she is herself. She's got to be me. She's got to be her. I just love Mrs. Maisel. Can't wait for everybody else to see it. 2 episodes drop on Friday, and it'll have 2 episodes a week for the next 4 weeks. It'll be over before you know it. I'm just so happy she's back. Also streaming on Friday is a sci-fi thriller called Severance on Apple TV+. This is a slow burn thriller that by the end, by the cliffhanger ending, I was just screaming for a second season. I hope it gets renewed. But Severance is this weird futuristic story about a guy who played by Adam Scott. You'll know Adam Scott from Parks and Recreation and also Big Little Lies. And he plays this drone, this office worker who works in the basement of this big monolithic company. And there's this new technique called severance, where your work life and your home life are surgically separated. When you go underground to work, you don't know who you are above ground. You don't know who your real self is. Your real self, your outer self, doesn't know what you do when you're at work. So these two worlds are completely separate. But as you would expect in a story like this, the lines begin to blur. They begin to get little flashes of one side or the other. And as that begins to blur, it becomes much more of a paranoid thriller. Adam Scott's wonderful in this. He has great support from Patricia Arquette, who plays his really scary boss. Many other good actors are in this piece. But I'll tell you what, Severance is a thriller unlike anything you've seen before. The first episodes drop Friday on Apple TV+, and I guarantee if you stick with it, you'll be hooked. This is Matt Roush for TV Insider. For more news, reviews, and what's hot in streaming, check out TV Insider today. If you enjoy these reviews on TV Insider, hit subscribe.